everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to the PHLY Flyers Postgame Show presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me is Black Gritty himself. What's up, Owen? This is our first pre- and post-game together. We're here at Screwballs and King of Prussia. What did you think of the event?
I think that PHLY puts on a great event. We got a free concert going on now, too, after the hockey game, and it was just an amazing time. Great people showed up here tonight. A lot of drinks, a lot of wings, a lot of fun. Almost won.
Almost. It was a competitive game. Was really happy with the turnout here. Thank you to everyone who came out to Screwballs and King of Prussia. If you're hearing the background noise right now, which I'm sure you can, Big Whiskey, a cover band playing here, but it is what it is right now. We are coming to you live to talk about this 4-3 Flyers shootout loss against the defending champion Florida Panthers. And while they lose the game, I was pretty happy with what we saw out of the Flyers tonight.
This is the kind of game that when you lose, you feel good about it. Not that you want to feel good about anything.
Yeah.
But again, with a building team going out there against the champs, it was a shootout, tight window
Can
fight.
go either way.
And I got the overtime. We got free hockey. You know what I mean? So it was a good game. This is what you want from a building team. Like, if you're going to lose, at least let me enjoy watching the entire game.
Absolutely. And if I have one complaint, it's what we talked about pregame. The Flyers showed a tremendous amount of fight tonight. They went toe-to-toe with the defending champs, owned them for periods of this game.
Yes.
They showed the stats going into the third period, how the Panthers have been dominant, especially during the 6-game, now 7-game winning streak they're on. And the Flyers took it to them throughout periods of this third period. And I wish this had been an on-ice learning experience for Matvei Michkov. Like, he'll have plenty. There are lots of games left. It's game 15. But you just see what they went through in this game, and it's like, if he's going to learn, it's through games like this, against the defending champs in their building, tie score in the third, fighting back, playing them through 5 minutes of overtime. It would have been cool to have the future star on the ice for this.
Whatever issues you had with him that you're thinking he's supposed to learn from, he better have learned it in these 3 games. The team came out with a lot of fight. They've won a couple. They went toe-to-toe with the champs tonight. So if he's going to learn, this is the only time we're back home on Monday. He better be on ice. We're done with the learning.
We'll ask Charlie what he thinks. I saw he tweeted earlier that he believes Michkov will be back in for Monday. They're coming home now. They go 1-1-1 on the road trip. It is, I don't know if you want to call it successful, but I think from some of the individual players we needed to see things out of, like Owen Tippett, Joel Farabee. Farabee gets on the board tonight.
Hey, you got some free money tonight. That's a good bet for you, Farabee.
Finally cash a goal scorer bet, so that was nice. He gets that first goal of the game to put the Flyers up 1-0. But from an individual standpoint, I do think that this road trip helped get a couple of guys going, and maybe they can carry it home. But 1-1-1.
They played good hockey.
Yes,
they played good hockey.
I don't care about the win-loss record, especially for, like you mentioned, a rebuilding team. Maybe it is best that they lose a whole lot of games and end up with a good draft pick. But this is what we wanted to see in terms of the players who need to come through for them. And Joel Farabee is a big part of that, whether he's going to be a part of the core going forward, or maybe they're able to trade him over the next couple of months, the next year, whatever it is. He needs to have value. He needs to be providing value, whatever his future holds. And we're starting to see that out of certain guys, like Owen Tippett.
Had a lot of shots on goal tonight.
Nice game tonight out of him. Farabee gets the goal. Emil Andre really, I think, starting to assert himself on this blue line, show that he is part of the future. Despite the loss, I'm encouraged by what we saw.
Again, I can't say it enough. This is the kind of loss that I can accept and not be angry about. This is the kind of road trip that I'm happy and excited about, because you can see where they're going to, where they're progressing to. But I would like to see my young phenom be out there and be a part of that. So let's get it going on this homestand and get him back on there. And whatever he didn't learn, tourist, that's on you to get him there.
Absolutely.
That's part of coaching.
That is absolutely part of coaching. And now we have to get Michkov back in on Monday so we can have this Calder showdown between Michkov and Celebrini. And maybe you want to go see that live. And if you do, there's no better way to go than with Game Time, baby. All right, we need to get you to some Flyers games. We need to get you using the absolute best app for the secondary ticket marketplace, and it is our friends at Game Time with the brand new feature, Game Time Picks. Makes getting tickets for your favorite events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. It filters out all the fluff. It is the new feature. It's what they want to sell onto you. Game Time Picks. Make sure you utilize it when you use Game Time. But all of the other features that make Game Time the best secondary ticket marketplace are back for this season, whether it's the all-in pricing. Toggle on the all-in pricing, no surprise fees. You're paying what it says you're going to pay. You don't get all the way to the end and then suddenly, oh, the ticket price doubled. Not the case with Game Time. You get the seat view, so there's no surprises with where you're sitting either. The low price guarantee. Game Time credits you 110% of the difference when you find tickets in the same section in row for less. And Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. And while we're here, why don't I tell you about our friends? 1-800-588-2300 Empire today. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a price match guarantee. I've been telling you for months that Empire is the best place for new flooring, so you know what that means. It means there's going to be copycats. But what those copycats can't beat Empire on is service, speed, or quality. So they just advertise low-quality products that Empire simply wouldn't carry. Anyone who says, oh, we have the lowest prices no matter what, they're putting flooring in your home they wouldn't put in their own. The Empire philosophy is to help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with thousands of substitutes. They have the best design team in the game, and you can see their selections by using the virtual floor designer. Just snap a picture, and you can instantly see how new floors will look in your room. Schedule a free in-home estimate today, and all listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code PHLY. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/PHLY for details. This was a fun game that they played with Florida tonight. Florida absolutely showed you why they are the defending champs. They are a damn good team. When they want to get that cycle game going, it's really hard to beat them. But I was happy with the fight back that the Flyers showed. They were physical. They didn't just try to get 2-on-1s and play the breakout game. They got in an offense. They laid some hits. And they created chances down low. Bobrovsky, I know he's not off to a great start, but he's a hell of a goalie. It was nice to see them fight against the Florida Panthers tonight.
So sometimes it sounds stupid to say, but it's nice to see fundamental hockey being played. It's nice when you have a strategy and you go out there and you just take it to a team that are the champs. They are somebody who can intimidate you. And to go out there and stand toe-to-toe, to fight back, I can't say it enough. That's what you want. And if I'm going to take a loss, that's the kind of loss I can accept. That's what I can do. I don't know what's going on with that 12-minute replay, and they were using like somebody's cell phone to like try and find the puck. Florida needs to step their game up. Y'all are champions, and y'all got iPhone camera shots out here. That was a little weird situation, but it's just nice to see fundamental hockey being played. And on this trip, that's what they did tonight. They did what they needed to do.
That's for progression. The last two games of this trip, the Flyers want to play that rush-based offense. They want to block a shot, take it the other way for a 2-on-1, have highlight reel goals, make those defense-to-offense plays. But teams are shutting them down. They are hanging two defensemen back. Those rushes aren't there. And these last two games, I think they've made a concerted effort to dump the puck in a little bit more and play that fundamental hockey. And when they're on defense, I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. They give up 31 shots in 65 minutes tonight. It goes to overtime. They only give up 31. That is a big change for them. Sam Ersson comes back. His first game back from injury, stops 28 of 31, is pretty decent in the shootout, plays almost all 65 minutes. I was very happy. I think he's picking up where he left off. This is a good recovery for Sam Ersson.
So they're playing winning hockey. They didn't win tonight, but this is a formula to win. And this is where when I'm a Torts guy, I know a lot of people don't like him, and we're all upset about the sitting and the back-to-back healthy scratches. But when you look at how the team is playing, he knows something.
They got the message.
He sees something, and he's trying to put it forward on the ice.
And now we go down to Sunrise, Florida, to bring in Philadelphia's #1 hockey beat writer. It is Charlie O'Connor coming to us. Chuck, thoughts on the game and message from the team post-game?
Yeah, I think my thought on the game, honestly, is that they played really well. This is the second straight game they played really well. And overall, the trip, I mean, yeah, they come away with a 1-1-1 record. This is a successful trip because this was a hard trip. I mean, we're talking about two teams in Carolina and Florida that are legitimate cup contenders, and then a third team in Tampa who I don't think is a legitimate cup contender, but they're certainly a playoff team. Like, I think they're going to make the playoffs. And to come out of that, you get points in 2 out of the 3, and the one game you didn't get points in, you could have. It came down to 30 seconds. They were 30 seconds away from getting points in all 3 games. So I think successful trip, but talking about what I heard from the guys in the locker room, they were very enthused about this performance. Obviously, they wanted to win. They were bummed. And Sam Ersson in particular, I thought he put a little bit too much on himself. He basically said, like, this game kind of became a battle of the goalies at the end, and he's like, I just feel like I didn't make that one save. And he's hard on himself, and I get that, but I thought he was real good for most of this game, so I thought he was probably being a little too hard on himself. Overall, though, the guys really felt good about how they played. Scott Lawton basically said, look, the big thing now is we have to bring this home with us. This can't just be a 2-game aberration, a 3-game aberration if you want to give him credit for the Carolina game, which I really don't. I think it's just these last 2 were legitimately really good. But Lawton's like, look, this is the way we need to play. We're happy with how we're playing. Now we need to sustain it. And I think that's kind of where the players' heads are at. John Tortorella, you could tell, was happy with the way the team played. He was also just frustrated that they lost. Like, it was actually a relatively short presser, only about 1 minute 30 seconds, but you didn't get the sense that frustration was on the team. That was just on the fact that he really, really wanted this one and just wasn't in a big talking mood. But it wasn't that he was angry at the boys. He thought they played a good game and that they're trending in the right direction again. It's just that it's a tough one to lose because they played really well, and you want to come away with a win in this one and go back home on a 2-game winning streak, which, quite frankly, they sort of deserve to be on a 2-game winning streak. But, 3 out of 4 in Florida, not too bad.
No, absolutely not. I think everyone here at Screwballs was pretty happy with the way the team played. You'd like to win, especially if you're in that rebuild mindset of win or lose in regulation. Once you get the loser point, it's like, well, might as well get the second one too. We already got the one, but I think everyone was pretty happy with the way they played. You mentioned Sam Ersson. I thought that was a pretty nice return for him, but the thing that stuck out to me tonight was they finally got some secondary scoring. Now, they've struggled with primary scoring, so it's like, of course they don't have secondary scoring most of this year if the main guys aren't, but we see Anthony Richard light the lamp tonight. Good to see him get his first goal as a Flyer, and we see Garnet Hathaway. But I'm going to talk about our boy Tony Dick. I've liked what I've seen out of him. Is there room for him when Poehling comes back to play a role somewhere in this bottom 6?
I don't think so. Honestly, do I think he could potentially stay in the lineup after Michkov comes back? Maybe. But I don't know what the situation is with Ryan Poehling. Obviously, I'm hoping that everything is okay with him and his family, because it seems like just as much as him being banged up, he's dealing with a personal situation. So hopefully that turns out in a good way and not a bad way for him. So I don't know when he's going to be back, but I don't think Richard will stay in when Poehling's back. I just think they're a little stylistically redundant. Obviously, Poehling's a center, Richard's more of a wing, but it's pretty clear they brought him up because they're lacking some speed without Poehling in the lineup. Richard brings the speed, made a solid play on that goal. I don't think he's been bad, just like I don't think he was bad in preseason. I just think that, this is probably what he is. He's kind of a quad A guy who can come up for a few games if you need him. Would it blow me away if, let's say Michkov comes back in on Monday, but Poehling isn't yet ready? Could I see them keeping Richard in the lineup? Sure. I could see them keeping Richard in the lineup because there's one guy in particular that kind of looks like the writing might be on the wall for that in case of emergency scratch Morgan Frost button, because he ain't getting many minutes, and he's now been moved off power play 1. So I could see a world where maybe Frost comes out for michkov and Richard stays in. But no, I don't think Richard will stay in once Paling's back. It's just I don't know when Paling's going to be back because I don't know the severity of this personal situation he's dealing with.
Yeah, Morgan Frost, 9 minutes and 30 seconds of ice time tonight. The only forward with less is Nick Delorier. Speaking of ice time, you look at how it was distributed amongst the defensemen, Charlie. Sanheim plays over 30 minutes in a 65-minute game.
Wow.
He is the workhorse for this team. Risto goes almost 22 minutes. Third on the team in ice time, Emil Andre at 19:55. I thought he had another strong game tonight despite not showing up on the score sheet with any points. I liked what I saw at him. 3 shots on goal, a block, 3 hits. What are you seeing out of Emil Andre? And again, you think there's room for him once the roster kind of normalizes with injuries and whatnot?
Bill, I can tell you, you're not the only one who liked what you saw from Andre. Just talking with some people with the Flyers, also talking with John Tortorella after the game. You know, the amount that he used Andre in the third period shows how much he's liking this kid. Look, the easy solution here would be to send him down once Cam York is healthy. And Cam York is getting closer. He's been skating. He's wearing the non-contact jersey, but it's clear that he's trending in the right direction. I don't think he's going to miss many more games. Hey, maybe he'll be back on Monday. Who knows? But I'll be honest with you. With the way Emil Andre is playing, I don't think you can send him down. I really don't think you can. He's playing well enough that I think he's earned the right to be here. I mean, he basically pushed Jamie Drysdale down the depth chart tonight. Like those were his minutes that he was taking. He was taking Drysdale's minutes, both at 5-on-5, because he had a bunch of shifts with Sanheim, and on the power play. He was up on that top unit, the top unit, I guess, if you want to call it, with Michkov not in the lineup. But still, Andre's outplaying Drysdale. And I think, like obviously you're not going to send Jamie Drysdale down. You're not going to do something like that. But, like, is there a world where Drysdale maybe gets the Michkov treatment for a game or two to keep Andre in the lineup because he's playing so well?
He should.
Yeah, I could see it because Andre deserves the minutes right now. He's playing great. Like, that one play, and that was one of those moments where you're just like, man, he is feeling it. With 2 minutes left in the game, and he blasts up on a carry-out, breakout right next to the goalie. I mean, that was like shades of Shane Gostisbehere when he was at his most confident. And the thing is that Andre brings a hell of a lot more physicality than Ghost ever did. And I love Ghost, but Andre's definitely a more engaged defensive player than Ghost was. Obviously, he's not as dynamic offensively as Ghost was either, but I love that confidence. And look, like, that could have went real bad. He could have turned that puck over, and Flyers could have lost the game as a result. But you know what? He didn't. And because he didn't, it's a great play. And now we're talking about his confidence. We're not talking about him, making the big mistake that blows the game. But I love the fact that he's trying things. And more often than not, what he's trying, it's working. So to me, I don't think they can send him down. Now, maybe at some point, if his play dips a little bit, he's still young, he's still getting the hang of this thing. But I'm of the opinion, and I'm starting to get the sense the Flyers are of this opinion too, that I don't think you can justify sending him down right now because he's been one of their best defensemen, and John Tortorella used him like one of his best defensemen tonight.
No, absolutely. Another guy might not have had the strongest 60, 65 minutes, but who badly needed to get on the board. Joel Farabee opens the scoring tonight, gets his 3rd goal of the season, first in 5 games. What are you seeing out of Joel Farabee right now?
Well, I think that was a big goal for Joel Farabee just because he has been playing well, I think, for the most part over the last few games. But he was great in Tampa. He was one of their best players on the ice. He didn't score. And we talked to John Tortorella on Friday after practice, and he basically said, look, I've liked what I've seen from Joel. He needs to score. We need people to finish, and Joel's one of those guys. Well, he finally did. Now, hopefully that gets him feeling a little bit better. That said, he has 2 semi-breakaways in overtime and doesn't finish on either of them. Now, look, Sergei Bobrovsky was incredible in that overtime and shootout. So I'm not gonna bury Joel Farabee for not finishing on those plays. That said, if he finishes on one of them, they win the game.
They win.
So it's clear that Farabee isn't all the way back in terms of his offensive execution, but he's getting there. You know, he's let me put it this way. He's a hell of a lot closer than Morgan Frost is right now. So Farabee's trending in the right direction. I thought it was big for his confidence, hopefully to get a goal, but he's still not all the way there because he had a lot of other chances that he could have finished on. He didn't. Hopefully this is the start of something, but he's not all the way back yet because there were a lot of other opportunities he had in this game. Love the fact that he's getting them, though. It shows that he's engaged and he's playing better.
Absolutely. I want to talk about Michkov now. I think we asked enough questions that it's not the first thing.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, absolutely.
Is it Michkov Monday or what? Like, what are we doing? I want Michkov Mondays. How about that? Can we get that started?
I am pretty confident he's going to play on Monday. Look, I guess you never know, but everything I've heard implies that this was at most going to be a 2-game thing. The fact they lost obviously gives them a little bit of cover where it's like, we can change the lineup. We're not on a winning streak, whatever. But I think even if they won this game, I think he was coming back in Monday. Now, look, maybe Tortorella just goes full Tortorella and says, no, I'm not bringing it back in because I don't like how he responded or whatever. I don't know. But I do believe the plan was always most likely to get him back at home. And look, like, I don't know if this plays a major role, but I don't think it was a coincidence that this happened on the road. I think they know that if you bench Michkov for home games, you're going to have a lot of angry fans because there are a lot of people who are buying tickets just to see Michkov. And do it on the road. Yeah, there's going to be some people that are ticked off. Obviously, if you've seen Twitter's very ticked off. That said, it's better than doing it at home in front of the paying crowd.
And you do it on the road against tougher opponents, which may have exposed him a little bit. So there's a good balance to it, but it has to end now. when he comes home, that's what we're paying to see.
No, this is here at Screwballs, talking to a lot of the fans who came out. And thank you very much to everyone who came out tonight. Really appreciate it. It's a Hilferty situation if he doesn't play at home. This is hey man, when those season ticket reps were making their calls, they're telling people, yo, he's here, man. He came over, so buy some tickets. And then if he doesn't play because of a coach's decision, you're going to have some upset paying customers. That's different than
Twitter.
The game is on TV.
Yeah,
or
that's
people on Twitter.
tweeting.
Yeah, people on Twitter are mad. People on Twitter are always mad. That is just the case. Charlie, I just want your take on my opinion about this with Mish. He's never played, more than 50 games in a season. I get it. He's maybe a little worn down. Whatever the issues might be that led to these scratchings, okay, get him back in the lineup as soon as you can. Hopefully it's Monday. But I watched the way this game unfolded tonight. It is a dogfight against the defending champions, one of the best teams in the league. Would this not have been a great learning experience for him to be out there tonight?
I mean, look, he's going to have a lot of learning experiences against a lot of great teams in his rookie year. Would he have benefited from being in this game? Maybe. It's hard to say because he wasn't in this game, so I don't know. Would the Flyers have benefited if he was a guy that could have thrown out there in the shootout? Almost certainly.
Yeah.
So you could certainly say that, maybe they get the second point if Michkov is in this game. That said, again, it's impossible to know one way or the other. I said this. I'm trying to do some. I guess it's not even tweeting. It's posting on Blue Sky as well as Twitter.
Blue Sky.
So trying to do both. Trying to do double duty on the socials during games now. But one thing I put out on there was that people are asking me what do you think about the Michkov scratching, or do you agree with it? And my answer is this. It's basically look. I disagree with it in the sense that if I was the coach, I wouldn't scratch Michkov. So I guess if you're really going to boil it down to it, yeah, I disagree. I disagree that he's scratched. I think that he would benefit more by playing. That said, John Tortorella, if you're going by what his view of the situation is and his view of coaching, the whole reason why I wouldn't scratch Michkov is because I don't think scratching is something that I would have in my repertoire. I wouldn't have it in my coaching arsenal. He does. And he thinks it's useful. He thinks it's valuable, and he thinks players can improve by being scratched and by being sat and by being shamed by the embarrassment of sitting. He does. He believes that. And if you are operating with those principles in mind, then the scratchings do make some sense. So would I have done it? No. But like the real question is like, what would Torts have done? And Torts thinks that scratchings are good, so he thinks that they're going to have value, and it really just kind of boils down to how much you trust John Tortorella.
Charlie, you look at the top 5 defensemen in ice time on the Flyers tonight. Nick Seeler is 5th with 18:38. Everyone else played almost 20 minutes or more. And then you look at number 6, Yegor Zamula, 11:02 total ice time. Now listen, he's your 6th defenseman. You sometimes don't play all 3 pairs or your 6th defenseman equally. Is this like maybe a roster spot that might be more up in the air than we thought? Like Zamula was a guy last year, it was kind of set and forget. He played pretty much every game last year. Now he seems to be on the borderline. What do you think is going to happen with this 6th defenseman spot? Do you think it's always Zamula? Is Johnson going to come back in? Maybe they call someone up. What do you think is happening with Yegor Zamula?
Well, I mean, what's going to happen is Cam York is going to come back.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have to make the decision about Andre, and that's something that could have a trickle-down effect on Yegor Zamula, because Zamula isn't playing that well. He had a really bad turnover up the boards. I believe it was in the second period that he just kind of got bailed out on because Florida missed the net. Like, he did not have a good game. He has not had many good games this year. And he sat at times last year. There were stretches where he got scratched. So I don't think the Flyers are opposed to scratching him for extended periods. Obviously, they did a few games ago. They gave him a couple games off. He's back in now. Could he come out? Sure, especially if they decide to keep Andre, which, like, again, I don't know how you can send him down with how well he's playing. If York comes back in, I certainly could see a world where York comes back in and Zamula comes out and Andre stays up and stays in. Now, do I think they're going to, like, demote Zamula to the minors? No. Like, I don't think his roster spot is in danger. Is his lineup spot in danger? Sure. He's been scratched before this season. He was scratched last season, and he's not playing that well. So, sure, his lineup spot is absolutely in danger, especially once York comes back, because Andre is playing as well as he's playing.
All right, Chuck, before we get to 3 stars, was there anything else tonight that you thought stood out and should be highlighted as one of the storylines of the game, a narrative, anything like that?
Well, how about Garnet Hathaway turnstiling the reigning Selkie Trophy winner? That was pretty freaking cool.
That was. It was really cool to see Garnet Hathaway get on the board. And listen, yeah, is he trying to center that puck? 100%. That's a pass attempt. But you throw pucks to the middle, and good stuff happens sometimes. We saw that tonight. All right, it is now time for Charlie O'Connor's 3 stars of the game. Chuck, hit us with star number 3.
Star number 3, I am actually going to go with one Garnet Hathaway. That was just such a cool play. And look, he's not the kind of guy who's going to get a ton of ice time, but this is if you remember, this is the 2nd consecutive time in Florida where he had a big goal in the 3rd period against this very team in this building. He had that big goal in that game in March, right after the Sean Walker trade. So there's precedent for Garnet Hathaway making big plays in this building. I don't think Hathaway had a dominant game by any stretch of the imagination, but in that one shift, he was awesome. And that was a great play, and the Flyers get a point because of that play. So for that reason, Garnet Hathaway is my 3rd star.
Hit us with star number 2.
Star number 2, I'm going to go with one Samuel Ersson, or I guess Sam Ersson, as he prefers to be called. Look, the goal he allowed on the Nate Schmidt shot, not the best. But he's missing time, whatever. I thought the second half of that game especially, he was incredibly sharp. I thought he made some big saves against some really good players. Overtime, he made some big saves. He had 2 big stops on Luosterainen, I believe, in the late 3rd. Ersson was great. He just was all around strong. I don't even know what his end of game numbers are going to look like, because obviously they scored 3 times, so maybe they're not amazing. But by the eye test,
it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. By the eye test, by the momentum test, I think Ersson was real good. It's a bummer that that he doesn't get rewarded with a win, but there was one goalie on this in this game who was a little bit better.
Finally, star number 1.
Yeah, star number 1, Sergei Bobrovsky. I mean, and again, maybe you could say Bob should have stopped the Hathaway goal. It was a little fluky, so I'm not really going to pin that on him. But like, Flyers should have won this game in overtime.
Yes.
They peppered Bobrovsky, not just with shots, but with high quality shots, with breakaways, with plays, with passes set up, things like that. Like, dangerous chances. And Bob was just on. I mean, this was the guy from most of the playoffs last year. That's the guy who we saw in overtime in the shootout as well. They get the 1 goal, but, you know, you're not going to beat him much. And Sergei Bobrovsky, you know, I know it hurts some Flyers fans to watch him do well because obviously that's where he started his career. I'm well past that.
It's been a decade.
It's been a decade. It's kind of like get over it. I just marvel at how good this guy can be when he's at his best. And especially same thing with Ersson, especially during the second half of this game. Sergei Bobrovsky was basically at his best. Tons of great saves. First star of the game.
All right, Charlie, before we let you go, the people here wanted to know, have you found, first of all, are you a NASCAR fan?
I am.
And secondly, have you found a place to watch both the birds and whatever race you're planning on watching tomorrow?
Yeah, it's like the championship race that decides the title winner. I am. I've actually been a fan since I was like a little kid. So the first sport I really got into. It's not tops anymore, but I still enjoy it. And my boy Ryan Blaney's in the title race for the second straight year. He won the championship last year. Want to see him try to win it again this year. I have not yet identified a specific spot, but I've gotten a few recommendations on Twitter. So I'm going to head down to the Fort Lauderdale beach tomorrow because I don't fly out until later in the evening and try to find one of those spots. See if I can find one.
NASCAR's a little easier on your neck too. You know what I mean? Just watching like this instead of like this. So I get it. I get it.
All right, Charlie, make sure you load up on sunscreen tomorrow. And emo and NASCAR, you're a man of many different interests.
Indeed.
Thank you for joining us tonight. That is Charlie O'Connor, Philadelphia's #1 hockey beat writer, coming to us from Sunrise, Florida. He'll be back with us when the trip ends for our regularly scheduled shows, probably Tuesday or something. Yeah, because they play
after
Monday.
Michkov Mondays.
Yeah, after Michkov Monday, when he comes back for the big showdown with Celebrini. We will have Charlie back in studio. I miss him when he goes on his trips, man. I spend the whole
life of a beat writer. You know what I mean?
I spend the whole summer just hanging out with Charlie every single day, and then the season starts, and I'm like, "You're the only person I see more than my wife."
He's like,
and now I miss you.
He's like, "I'm on the plane, brother."
Yep.
Catch you next time.
That's Charlie O'Connor. And before we wrap up tonight's show, I want to tell you about our friends at Ace Hardware Home Services. All right, if you've got a leaky pipe at Ace Hardware Home Services, they're around the block with everything you need to fix it, including the person to do the fixing. You got an air conditioner issue like I did a few months ago, they've got a person for that as well. You know that faucet that you just said, I'm going to get to that, and it was like last fall, now it's November again. We all think we can do a little more. Well, guess what? Ace Hardware has the person to help you do it because they're not just the helpful hardware folks. They're also the helpful home services and repair folks. From plumbing to heating and cooling, they've got the trusted pros to keep your home humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services, they're bringing helpful home, the helpful you love from the store, now to your front door. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get you started on your next project. Maybe your next project a little bigger than something a repair guy can just do. You need to go to C-Jam Construction. They've been family-owned home remodeler specializing in decks, bathrooms, and floorings for decades now, and their goal is to help their clients alleviate the challenges and frustrations that come with home remodeling. If you've ever been involved in any long-term home project, you can't do it yourself.
No.
And whoever you hire, you don't know, maybe. Take it from me, C-Jam Construction is the place to go for all your home remodeling needs. So check them out at cjamconstruction.com/flooring and be sure to mention PHLY to receive 15% off when you call 856-329-2933 about your next home project. See their full selection of luxury vinyl plank flooring and learn more about the products and warranties on the website cjamconstruction.com/flooring. All right, before we get to the super chats and wrap up tonight's postgame, Owen, I'm encouraged that Charlie is pretty sure Misha's coming back in on Monday.
Again, the people paid the money. Give the people what they want. It has to end at some point, so I'm confident about Monday also. I don't know much about much, but I know that he better be out there on the ice on Monday.
I can't see a world where they sit him at home. I can't see a world where they sit him more than a couple games in a row. It doesn't make sense.
No.
He came over early to play in the NHL.
And he came over early. We weren't expecting to have him. He's here now. He needs to be out there.
And if it was a message to the rest of the team,
They got the message.
they got the message. They're playing the way they're supposed to play. They're suppressing shots. They're playing better defensively. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're putting up over 30 shots a game again like they did last year. Now it's time to integrate your most skilled player back into the lineup and make it work with him.
Yes.
It's now on the coaches. That is, like, I get it. He's 19. He kind of is used to playing a certain way. Maybe he's not grasping all your concepts. Make him.
Yeah.
That's why you get paid the money you get paid as a coach, not just to coach the guys, well, they play my way, so I'm going to do it. The guys who don't play your way, the guys who maybe you have to coach up a little bit, make it happen, but he has to play for you.
I'm on this hill to the road. Don't make me die on this hill alone, bro. Like, I've been fighting for you. I get yelled at all the time.
Yeah.
I love that you're progressing. I love that you're one of the only coaches in the city that shoots it straight every single press conference, every time you talk. I get it. I love hard-nosed stuff. I like bullying people sometimes. But sometimes you got to give them some love, too. You got to give a hug after you bully. So, coach.
Yeah.
Coach, and not just sit up in the booth and do a review. Bro, you don't speak Russian. I don't know if you're understanding the language barrier, but get this kid back on the ice and do your job that way. And mix that in with your educational purposes, too.
Absolutely. Before we get to Super Chats, is there anyone in the crowd who wants to jump on? Anyone? No one wants to join the post game? All right.
Everyone has been drinking, and they're full of wings, and they were singing and dancing. It was a crazy night tonight here with the PHLY party.
Absolutely. It was a great time here at Screwballs in King of Prussia. I highly recommend coming out here to catch any game, to catch the live bands that they have on, what the hell's today? Saturday nights as well.
Saturday night.
So, Brenna, without any further ado, there's no Super Chats. You've probably been trying to tell me that for several minutes now.
This guy.
All right. Well,
what is going on?
That is all the time we have for you on the PHLY Flyers postgame show live from Screwballs in King of Prussia, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And thank you to our friends at Coors Light who made tonight possible. And I want to send a huge shout out to my friends Mike and Delia, welcoming their first child into the world this week. Very, very excited for you guys. It's dope. Honestly, I'm over the moon for you two. So congratulations. Owen?
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
First of all, PHLY be doing these live events and these parties. They gave away VIP suites, T-shirts, some diehards out there. If you're not a diehard, you got a free die. Like, they're doing stuff. We got wings out here. Vince threw out some wings to some people. I mean, we called them, it was like wing ball. But I'm just saying, come to an event out here. PHLY is doing it right, all right? And the best thing about it for us is michkov Monday!
Hey! That's the event tonight was so much fun. So many people came out, had a great time. Our giveaways are always on point. We gave away 3 T-shirts, 1 Die Hard subscription, and a pair of tickets to the Flyers Golden Knights game in a club box with $30 of concession credits. So if you're like, oh, I don't know, sometimes they have these
and free parking. Bro. Yeah. I mean,
what else can you ask for?
It's all on PHLY, and they do it all the time. You guys are doing it big out here.
We host these ticketed events sometimes, and I know a lot of people are like, do I really? I'm going to get a ticket to go to a bar.
And then I got to pay for the parking. I got to pay for food. You have to pay for I'm mad I kind of work here. I'm trying to get in on the VIP situation.
I was trying to use my mom's Die Hard account to try to win the tickets. And he was like, no, you work here. You're not allowed to win. But that is all the time we have for you on the PHLY Flyers postgame show presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365. Make sure you're following us right here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that reminder bell so you get notifications whenever we go live. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers. And follow the podcast wherever you get those. Just search PHLY Flyers. I'm Bill Matz.
Black Gritty.
That's Black Gritty. Until next time, let's go Flyers.
michkov Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.